Now, early this week, I discussed Australia's failing education system. The latest NAPLAN results show that 1 in 3 schools throughout Australia are not meeting minimum numeracy and literacy expectations. 1 in 10 are now so far behind that they need additional support. The figures are even worse for Indigenous students and for students who live and learn in the regions. About 1/3 of Indigenous students need additional support compared to the overall 10% in the rest of the population. And half as many students in very remote schools were rated as strong or exceeding in any domain or year level compared to those living in the major cities. It's really concerning stuff. It could be that the problems of the COVID era are coming home to roost, but there are bigger structural problems that need to be dealt with here. And the real question is, what are we going to do about it? Because throwing money at the problem hasn't solved it. Joining me to discuss this is founder of the Red Union, Graeme Haycroft, which operates as a union for those in the teaching profession. Graeme, welcome. Tell us, why is our education system failing and how do we make it better?
Well, the education system, if you like, is a function of the bureaucratic system which has taken over and run it. How can I put this? We have a tribe of what you call bureaucrats, union officials, and ALP politicians, and they run together, and it's run for the purpose of generating income for the ALP. The education of children is way behind the 8 ball. So what should be done? Our view is that everybody has an opinion on this, what should be done. You know, we need to train teachers more, we need to do this, we need to do that. But the real problem isn't what the solutions are, but who should be deciding, Amanda? Who should be deciding? And the second question is, or the second issue is, our view is that the people who should be deciding, by the way, are the teachers at the school and the management of the school. The people who should be judging this are not super expert, what would you call super experts in the bureaucracy and in the education system. The people who should be deciding are the parents of the students at the school. So they're the questions that we need to address. How do we go about doing that so that the schools themselves do? Because teachers, Amanda, essentially it takes about 10 years to become a teacher, and these people at this stage can't actually make any decisions at the schools. We need to make the schools autonomous, right? And let the teachers at the school run it in conjunction with the school management. We don't need as many people, again, in a bureaucracy telling them what to do. It's about 1-to-1. In the health system, it's 1-to-1, and in the education system, it's not quite as bad as that. Every teacher has half a bureaucrat, I think, is about the number, but it's still far too many bureaucrats. We don't need them. The next question, which is most important, is how we fund them, right? The parents have got to decide whether or not what is being done at the school is correct, because they're the ones that have the stake in the game. It's their kids that are there. So we need to empower the parents by giving them, if you like, money through vouchers. In other words, we need to have a system of funding the user rather than funding the provider. The system has fallen apart because we fund the providers, we have all this budget, we give it to the schools and give it to the teachers, well, not to the teachers, to the bureaucrats to run. We've got to give the money to the actual parents in terms of a voucher, so they have the power then to move their students from one school to another if it's not working.
Okay. Graeme, am I right to understand you're suggesting that there should be locally run schools, no major bureaucracy and vouchers so that parents and families can vote with their feet?
Exactly.
I've got to keep it short. We've got to go to a break.
We have to go local. The existing system is about centralisation. It's old-fashioned debate theory. If you want to oppose it, you have to do the exact opposite. It turns out the exact opposite is what people want to do. People in Cairns, for instance, would like to have real say in how their school works and who goes to the school and what the conditions and what curriculum that they're actually operating under. They don't want it run from Brisbane. And this is even come as close as Redcliffe, exactly the same. Let the locals run it. They'll do a far better job. And it's also, they will vote for it, if you like. 10% of teachers plus 90% of parents will win.
Good on you, Graeme. Thank you very much for your perspectives on how we can solve this persistent problem.